Coming up next on She Said, He Said.
Like, how often did Grandpa cook his own food? Or did not he come home to a hot meal every day? Did not Grandma clean up the house and wash his dirty dishes and wash his dirty drawers? Did not Grandma honor him and make him feel like the man on a daily basis?
Hey, what's up, everybody? So I'm inside of this one restaurant waiting for my lunch order. But anyway, this got me to thinking. So there's this one guy that I like, nothing serious. We just kind of been talking on the phone to try to get to know one another. So the issue of paying for dates came up. So I was raised that, the guy, he always pays, he takes you out, pays for the dates. So, and I get it that sometimes women, we may treat them for the birthdays or special occasions, but his response to me was like, well, women want equal rights, so everything should be equal now. She paid, there's nothing wrong with her paying for the dates and all that. So I have a call with Pastor C. I'm going right over there after I get my food and ask him, is chivalry dead? Busy?
Oh, no, just looking for a particular book.
All right, is it okay if I come in and start setting up, Mike?
Come on in and set up. I'll be ready in a moment.
Okay. This is dealing with chivalry. Okay. And so about this 50-50 equal thing with the guys that I'm dating and, like this one guy.
50-50 equal?
I'm going to explain. This guy that I am dating, well, I shouldn't say dating. I don't know what we're doing. So let me just throw that out there. I don't know what we're doing. So his whole thing is this. Is that, well, women want equal rights, so they should be able to pay equal. They should be able to, he has no problem with splitting all the bills in the house and he doesn't mind opening up the doors, but he just feel like, well, if you want to be, you can't have it both ways. His whole thing is like, you want us, grandpa, you want to be treated like grandma, but you're not doing what grandma was doing. He was kind of trying to use that analogy. You understand?
Very interesting.
So my thing is, so he's like, well, if I'm the man, if I'm the husband or in the relationship, then you need to allow me to do A, B, C, F, and G, and then you need to do whatever. I can't have it both ways, is what he was trying to say to me. So of course I didn't like that. And I didn't quite understand what he was saying. So instead of getting into this big argument, I said, well, let me just talk to you about that and see if you understood this male lingo, or what is he talking about? First of all, what does he mean? Like, I want to be treated like grandma, but I want grandpa to treat me like how he treated grandma, but I don't want to do what grandma did.
No, and listen, that part I understand exactly what he's saying. I'm not saying I agree with everything you just said that he said, but I can understand the perspective, which has a valid point if he's talking about this part of it. And I want to break down everything he said, where he went crazy and where he actually does have validity.
Okay.
Well, we'll start with the validity and then we'll go to the crazy.
Okay.
Valid when he says want to be treated like grandma, like grandpa took care of all the bills.
Right.
Grandpa paid everything. He didn't ask grandma for nothing.
Right.
Grandpa, he opened the door for her all the time.
Right.
He always protected her, and if we walking down the street, he walked on the side with the traffic.
Right.
So she would be protected.
Right.
If she got cold, he took his jacket off and put it on her, and he was cold.
Yeah.
And he did it proudly. That's what grandpa did.
Right.
And he said, okay. He said, but you can't just look at grandpa. You have to look at grandma too. Because if you want me to be like grandpa, it's not unfair for me to request of you the characteristics of grandma.
Okay.
Like, how often did grandpa cook his own food? Or did not he come home to a hot meal every day? Did not grandma clean up the house and wash his dirty dishes and wash his dirty drawers? Did not grandma honor him and make him feel like the man on a daily basis? Did not grandma make sure his clothes was ironed and da 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 da. So the point he's making, and I see his point is, could it be that Grandpa did what he did because Grandma did what she did? Would Grandpa have been Grandpa if Grandma wasn't Grandma?
Ouch.
The factor that played in how he responded to her.
Okay.
Now, that's the part I can see that's valid.
So everything Grandpa was doing was response to Grandma, pretty much.
Or vice versa.
Okay.
Grandma could have been responding to Grandpa. But, well, let me take a little long route to bring us to where we are that I think may add perspective.
Okay.
One of the things that happened many years ago, Pearl Harbor.
Okay.
Pearl Harbor was bombed. And for the first time, we were attacked on American soil.
Right.
So all of our men went to war.
Right.
Like immediately, they had to go.
Right.
And all of these factories were left vacant. And women had to fulfill those roles. So for the first time in our society, women at large everywhere all over the world entered the workforce by the droves. And the women actually worked the factories that produced the artillery that the men fought with in the war.
Right.
So when the men came back home from war, that's where you get the baby boomers from.
I got you.
I've been going to war. Hey, girl, you know what time it is. But also, what you also got the beginning of was birth control. Because a lot of women weren't with being barefoot and pregnant anymore. Because now for years and years, not only did she put the bacon in the pan, she brought it home. She began to enter the workforce. She began to pay bills. She began to handle business. So now when the men get back, where's my breakfast? What do you mean? Where you going, girl? I'm on my way to work. Where you going? The roles begin to shift. And without warning, because see, back with Grandma and Grandpa, roles were how people identified manhood and womanhood.
Okay.
The man, and I'm not making an argument for this the right way, so I'm not justifying, I'm explaining. The men took care of all of the outdoor responsibilities. He went to work, he got a job, he brought home the money, he protected the family, he provided, and so on and so forth. The women took care of all of the domestic roles. She cooked, she cleaned, she sewed, she raised the kids, and so on and so forth.
Right.
And these were the shared roles. They were codependent upon one another. That's why they stayed together. He didn't leave her because he couldn't feed these 10 kids. She didn't leave him because she couldn't provide for this family. And they stuck it out. They had the same problems and things of this nature, but they stuck it out because it's codependency. And their roles, you were considered a good man by how well you played that role. The man could have been, unfaithful, got 2 other families around the corner, all this. No, that's a good man. He works hard. He provides a good living. He's a good man. And he was considered a good man, even though he may have been a piece of crap. He was considered a good man. Why? Because he took care of home financially. He provided. She was considered a good woman. Now, never mind, she had attitude and cussed everybody out and talked crazy. She was considered a good woman because she kept a clean house. She cooked every day. She sewed. She was very good domestically. Okay. And she was considered a good woman because of her skills in the home. Okay. And this went on for years. Now, what began to happen, roles can change. So when you identify who you are by a role, you're in danger of losing your identity because roles change all the time. And so what happened, if we look at just updating it to today, women no longer just sit home and did domestic things. Now they're in the workforce. So now a man's trying to fulfill his role. Like, I'm gonna be a man to this woman. I'm gonna take her out somewhere nice to eat, and I'm gonna pay for it. And he pull out, not knowing this restaurant don't take EBT. and she pulls out her black card and says, "No worries, I got it." She goes, "Okay, well I can't be a man like this. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take her for a ride along the coast in my car, because he got a 1987 Cutlass that his mama left him." And he goes to pick him up in his Cutlass. That's still smoking because he can't get a smog check. He can't pass a smog check. And she's in a 5 Series Benz. So, okay, maybe this ain't the right idea. So I'm going to bring her to my crib. You know, mama gave me the back house, turned the garage into my little bachelor pad. And he goes, and she's a homeowner with several properties that she rents out. She said, okay, this ain't the way to be a man. I'm going to give her game. I'm going to teach her about life. I'm going to educate her.
Right.
And so he tries to educate her with his philosophy on life.
Right.
And she answered him with some words he can't pronounce or spell. Because he only got a GED. She got a PhD.
Okay.
So I can't be a man in this way. How can I be a man to this woman? And he's trying to be a man. And she wants him to be a man.
Yeah.
But she don't know what's wrong either. And he's trying to be a man to her. And he's talking to Grandpa. Grandpa, how do I be a man? I'm trying to be a man. He said, son, you got to put your foot down. He said, I tried to put my foot down, but it's her house. So you got to bring home the bacon. He said, I tried to bring home the bacon, but she owns the pig. You got to be a man. You got to, and so how does he be a man? So in his frustration, in their heated argument, in his plight for identity, and trying to be a man, oftentimes because I'm still stronger than you. I still got my strength. Now, please, I'm not justifying.
I hear you.
I'm explaining.
I get it. Okay.
I'm still stronger than you. I still have my strength. And because you look at the news every week, and some crazy fool and killed his woman and the kids, and he done lost it and went off.
Right. And
this is happening all around us because where purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable.
Right.
And the late great Dr. Miles Monroe, anytime you don't know the purpose of a thing, you will always abuse it. Abuse comes from two words: abuse, abnormal use is abuse.
Right.
Now, so we can't define manhood or womanhood by roles.
Right.
Because roles change. You must define who you are by purpose. Purposes never change. God's purpose of a man and God's purpose of a woman is still the same as it was when he made Adam and Eve.
Okay.
No societal change changed the purpose.
And the purpose, what are the purposes?
Yeah, we can get into a lot there. Purpose of a man. When you go back to you go back to Genesis 1, when God made man. God gave man, first thing God gave man was his presence. He put him in the Garden of Eden, which was the garden where God dwelled.
Right.
So he put him in his presence. He gave him purpose. He gave him assignment. Take this garden, dress it, and keep it. Be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, subdue it, have dominion over it. He gave him vision. This is what it should look like when you replenish it and produce it and have dominion. You subdue it. He gave him an assignment. He gave him responsibility.
Okay.
And then you know what he said after that? He said, it's not good that man should be alone. Now watch this. It's not good that man should be alone. When did he say that? After man had his presence, he had his purpose, he had work, he had vision, he had responsibility. It's not good that this man should be alone. I will make him a helpmeet. You don't need a helpmeet, a suitable helper, if it ain't nothing for her to help you meet. So let's flip that coin over.
Ooh. Okay.
If a man does not have God's presence, God's purpose, God's assignment, God's vision, godly responsibility, it is good for that man to be alone. So we walk in his purpose, and we walk in knowing who we are. And so when you're talking about grandfather, they define it by roles. And these roles have shifted in many ways because a lot of days women are breadwinners in most of the homes. Women are more educated than men today, as far as college degrees and things of that nature. Women are more gainfully employed. It looks like as it relates to professional jobs and things of that nature. Women are even outliving us, and women are predominant figures in the home and society we live in. When you go, most homes are ran by women. Most industries are mostly ran by women as far as most of the employees there. Women are dominating culture and society, many more women than men. And we're seeing this shift in roles and men looking for where I fit in. So chivalry, when you ask if chivalry is dead, no, it's not dead. It's just not as practical in the lives of most people anymore. Because where did you learn chivalry from? Your dad. But where is dad? Where is the model? Where women saw dad open the door for mom. You saw dad being the protector and putting y'all behind him if he was walking into a situation where there might be danger.
Right.
When you saw dad risking his life, oh, it sounds like somebody's outside. Did you hear that?
Right.
Dad said, y'all be still. Let me go check it out.
You don't send her, huh?
Right. But you saw this.
Yeah.
So it was a model.
Right. That's true.
When you remove the model, so what do you see now? Somebody got to check it out. Mama, y'all kids, be still. Let me see what's going on.
Right.
You see mama bringing in her own groceries. Or maybe you guys, kids helping her.
Yeah.
You see mama bringing home the check, writing it out, paying the bills. You see mama running the home, disciplining everyone. You see, so the things, the role that you used to see dad in,
wow.
you're not seeing. So it's not that chivalry isn't dead, it's hidden. And here is how we get it back. You have to lay that demand. For one, we need models. That's why mentorship is so important.
Right.
We need models. We need people to teach our boys.
Yeah.
And we need a standard for our girls.
Yeah.
And we need to hold men to that standard. See, men, we're very simple. Men do what you praise them for.
Simple.
We're very simple. We do what you praise them for. You get a man to do whatever you want him to do if you know how to give him what he needs. That's that admiration, that respect, that praise. That, oh, great job, my hero, Hercules. He'll pick up this whole table for you. Where you want it, baby? Where you want it? I got it. As long as
Break
you
his
praise
back.
him. As long as you praise him. That's why you don't get much from men by criticizing. Oftentimes women think, I'm finna criticize him and tell him how sorry he is, and maybe that'll motivate him to do something. No! Never work.
Never
work. So now, and men need to be needed. A real man.
That's another thing
So
that came up.
here's the thing, see?
Okay.
Hey, let me help you. I don't need nobody to help me with this. And you're like, I don't need you.
So they take it that even though I may not want you to do that one thing, they take it that I don't need.
When I moved here to LA, to Chivalry, Louisiana, almost 12 years ago, I never saw in my life, from my upbringing where I'm from, so many attractive, successful, intelligent, lonely women. I never saw so many. I'm being honest. I never saw so many. Because I was wondering, why are these women single? Why are they? And then, I talk with them in pastoring, counseling all the time. They tell me, I don't know, I think men are intimidated by me. Or men are da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Oh, yeah, that's
And
the
here's
other
where the problem came. Men don't know where they can fit. How do I be a man to you? What need do I fulfill in your life? And there is one, but this is where the disconnect comes. Because my purpose hadn't changed. You may not need me in a certain role, but if you allow me to fulfill my purpose. See, we deal with purposes of man. Man's purpose is called from God. If you go back to you got to go back to the Adam and Eve. You have to go back to the first man. Mm-hmm. His purpose was to lead, to be a leader,
right?
To be a protector, to be a teacher, to be one that cultivates. This was all in his initial purpose. This is what is your purpose is embedded in you. Mm-hmm. So if I don't have the ability to do what's embedded in me, I'm going to be frustrated. I'm going to tell you the hardest person to have a healthy relationship with. It's a man who doesn't know who he is, what he does, his contribution to society, and where he's going in life. A man that doesn't know that, you always have problems with him. Because it's hard for him to be who he needs to be for you.
Right.
When he doesn't even know who he is. Because when he's insecure in his identity, in his purpose, in his contribution to society, like what his level of importance or value, he can't give you what he doesn't have.
Gotcha.
And you're demanding of him something that's not in him. He's got to get that together so that he can be. Because when he's frustrated with himself, that's going to always bleed over on you.
Yeah.
He can't. Man don't get his value from his woman. He gets his value from his work. He gets his value from his work. When I say his work, I'm not talking about, quote unquote, his job necessarily. It could be his job, but not necessarily. Your work is your contribution to the world you live in. It's what God put in you. That's where you get fulfillment from. That's where man gets his value from. That he has significance.
Right.
And when he feels significance, he'll be when he feels significant, he'll be a better man than you.
So all that need to be taken care of before you meet him.
So when you make him feel insignificant, oh my God, you get on my nerves. You're gonna get less and less out of him. I need to do a whole session, a whole seminar on how to talk to your man to maximize his potential. Because you have the power to do it.
Yeah.
You don't understand. See, Satan knows the power you have. That's why he didn't talk to Adam. He said Eve. He ain't gonna eat for me, but he'll eat for her.
He'll destroy his whole man, the whole mankind.
Come on.
The whole whatever, the poor woman.
Come on.
Women have that kind of
for
power.
For a woman that knows how to communicate.
Okay. Women have that much power. Oh my God.
Let me tell you, I learned at a women's conference years ago. The lady said, because I was pastoring in Louisiana and had a women's conference. I brought the only man in there. I asked the pastor. She said, yeah, he the head. But ladies, this is what the woman, the guest speaker said, ladies, let him be the head. He's the head. And my husband can be the head all day. Because I know I'm the neck that turns the head. Turn your head without your neck moving. Your neck is what you really turn.
Right.
But no, he gave his man authority, but you know what he gave woman? It's so powerful. Influence.
Oh. Yeah.
Influence. Listen, even the late great Tupac Shakur realized this. He said, I keep telling men, stop making music for dudes. Make music for the women. Because if the women love it, the dudes gonna pay for it.
Just because she love it.
You can pay for it. But this becomes key. So chivalry. We got to teach our men. We got to teach you. So now, what's this? Learn from. Okay, let's go to the Bible. I think it's 1 Peter chapter 3. I think, if I'm not mistaken, where God talked about women learning from Sarah.
Oh yeah. How
Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, making herself subject to him. Now, oftentimes people went, wait a minute, I ain't gonna call her. My Lord is Jesus, and they miss what she did.
Coming up next week on part 2 of She Said, He Said.
A man is willing to do more for a person that doesn't take them for granted, and that he knows would do the same for him.